Welcome to the Online Success Journey podcast, your opportunity to discover and learn from entrepreneurs like yourself. This is not your typical podcast, but a place where you can get the real story and find out how real people encounter speed bumps and detours, but journey through to find success. Now here's your host for the Online Success Journey podcast, Patience.
We are back with episode 366 of the Online Success Journey. Our guest today is a successful entrepreneur who is excited to share the various steps they took to build their business. And you will want to subscribe right now and ensure you'll never miss a journey like this. Today we have Aaron Anderson, SEO expert and helping companies build strategies through high-quality link building services. He's also the host of the podcast, Let's Talk Link Building, which dives into all different approaches and strategies one might take to build backlinks for their online business. Hello, Aaron.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. My audience are excited to hear your story. Just start by telling us one thing we are going to learn from you today that will help us on our journey to success.
Sure. Well, I'm happy to share about a bit more about link building and how that's important for online businesses and what you can do to build backlinks or just what to look out for in order to kind of build more authority for your website.
Wow, I can't wait to hear more about that. Let's get started with the basics. Can you tell my audience a little bit about your background, what you did before you started your own business?
Sure, yeah. So my main experience when I had gone to college had been door-to-door sales. So that was kind of my first job out of college. It was I joined a company. It was owned by a family member, but I was doing a lot of cold calls to businesses, and I was getting a little frustrated with the cold call and the sales, and I wanted to better leverage my time and effort. So I started experimenting with online marketing and trying to generate leads that way, where I wasn't necessarily chasing people all the time. So I started kind of experimenting and had some success generating leads for our business, and it was really exciting to me to kind of have these leads come in that I wasn't actually putting effort into. And so later I left that business. I did a few different things, but I continued to kind of learning on my own. But at some point I realized, okay, I want to learn more about SEO and digital marketing. So I reached out to a bunch of SEO consultants and said, hey, I'm willing to work for free. I just want to learn. And through that, had some unique experiences from that, but I ended up kind of connecting with an SEO consultant, started working together, and we kind of took his consultancy and turned it into an agency. And ever since then, I've been in this SEO world. So that's been about 8 years ago that I kind of got into the SEO agency side, and then I've been there kind of ever since.
Wow. What a background, Aaron. But why do you do what you do?
Sure, yeah. So specifically, link building. When I had been in a more holistic SEO agency before, we kind of struggled with the link building and we avoided it. And we didn't really necessarily know how to sell it or how to execute very well. But later, I did consulting for agencies and helped them hire, and I hired a link builder for an agency, and I kind of saw how his approach, and I recognized that it was a pretty good fit for my skills. That it's it was more like project management, and I thought it was something that I could execute, and that it was something that I could teach others how to execute. And so that's really what pulled me into it, because I was always on the operations side and I wasn't super technical as an SEO. So I thought it was something that I could do well myself, and I didn't necessarily need a partner or need to rely on somebody else. And so I got into link building because of that, because I saw that I could execute it. I saw that it was something that I could kind of grow a business around. And then I also saw like the impact that the links could have on a business. And that was really exciting for me to kind of see how much impact that could have.
Let's put him aside. How did you know you were successful?
How do I know that I'm successful?
Yes.
Well, success is, for me, it's kind of whatever you want it to be. You kind of define your own success. I mean, for me, the goal had always been, when I was really wanting to get into marketing, was I want to be able to work from anywhere and be able to use that to live and travel as kind of as I please, kind of. And for me, that has been a success, to be able to work online. I went, me and my family, we traveled and to the digital nomad lifestyle for many years. We lived in over 40 countries, and we kind of were able to take this, working online and use it to kind of live the life that we envisioned. And so for me, that's kind of what I would deem to be a success.
What is your favorite link building strategy and why?
Well, my favorite link building strategy is one that's called broken link building. It's pretty simple. You find a link on someone's website, and that link no longer works. It goes to like a 404 error page, or where it says like, oh, this page is no longer there. And then I reach out to the site owner and point this out, that they have a broken link, and then I suggest a replacement link for them. Say, oh, hey, this link on your page is broken, and if you're open to suggestions, like, here, I have a replacement link for you. I like it because it's helpful. It's not just, sometimes when people are asking for something, all they're doing is asking for something and they're not giving anything. And so with broken link building, I like the fact that it is something that we're adding value to site owners. And so for that, it's generally fairly well received.
Tell my audience about the magic moment, the day it suddenly all went right for you.
The magic moment, the day it all went right for me. Well, I don't know. It's hard to pinpoint like a specific day, but I would say that for me, when I was doing link building, when I started my company, I was doing all the work on my own, and I really wanted to be able to hire and kind of grow my own company. But I was having a hard time on the hiring side. I continued to hire people, and I was dissatisfied with the quality of the work. And I just didn't know if I was going to be able to hire a team and train them and be satisfied with the quality, because that's always been important for me. And so I guess maybe what was like a light bulb moment or something that changed is just when I made my first hire, and I just realized, oh, this person is really smart. They're very capable of doing whatever I give to them. And that was a really exciting thing to see, that, wow, this, I can find very capable people and they can do really great work. And it is possible to kind of, I don't have to compromise my standards to grow a business. Just because sometimes I have this view that often people scale and they sacrifice quality, or they sacrifice some of these core deals just for the sake of growth. And I didn't want that. And so I think that was probably when things kind of changed, and I realized, okay, yeah, this is something that you can do, maintain quality.
What link building strategy would you suggest for someone that doesn't like link building?
Sure. Well, and that could be, whether you dislike it or not, or maybe you just don't know a lot about it. Anyone that may be starting out, I would just suggest some kind of easy ways to do link building is just look for places where your business might be listed, and just try to get listed in those places. So for example, like for me, like a link building company, I could just search for like, top link building companies or best link building companies or things like this. And you'll find other websites where they have lists of businesses. And those are opportunities. Sometimes you can just add a listing, or you can, reach out and try to be added to the list. It's something that anyone really can do. And so that's kind of where I would normally start out. That's when I started out. That's mostly what I was doing. I was, we were a local business, and I was just looking for locations where it made sense for our business to be, whether that was on Yelp or Yellow Pages or these kind of places, and just adding our listings. And even though I didn't really know a lot, it was enough to kind of get the ball rolling and bring in some leads.
Well, as you mentioned, you've been in business for a long time. presume that you have met entrepreneurs and aspiring entrepreneurs along the way, but can anyone be an entrepreneur, or are some people more cut out for it than others?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think that there are people that are more cut out to be entrepreneurs, but I would say that I'm not like a stereotypical entrepreneur. A lot of times you hear the entrepreneurs that are like, oh yeah, when I was a kid, I was selling things to my friends and I was like figuring out, like I wasn't very good in school and I was figuring out how to like get the kid to help me on my, do the work for me. They're kind of maybe always were leveraging other people or things, but I definitely wasn't like that. I was a very good student, and but I could have fit like the employee mold very well. But I think for me, I was just really decided that I wanted kind of to control my own destiny and kind of be in control, and that was always like a big desire of mine. So whether I'm like a stereotypical entrepreneur or not, I just decided that that was a path that I wanted to take. And I think that's really what it is. If it's something that people want and that, they can pursue it. But it wasn't like a short path for me. For me, there was many years of not making much money because I was unwilling to like just take a job, and I was doing lots of things and trying lots of things, and it was kind of maybe a long, slow path to get there. So, if people are okay with the path, regardless of what it might be, then they can make it as an entrepreneur.
As you mentioned that you took a long path to make it where you are today, what was your friends or your family, what did they say to you? Just go and get a 9-to-5 job.
Yeah, I would say there's often maybe some there's often questions that people are like, oh, so what are you doing? Like, there's always maybe like kind of incredulous, or like, I had siblings that would find opportunities like, oh, hey, there's this person I met that maybe you could go work for them, so, but they would ask questions that you could tell they were kind of trying to figure out what the ultimate plan was. So there was often some incredulous, questions and things where they're kind of trying to figure out, okay, well, what's the long-term plan? And some people were more on board with certain things than others. I remember, when I had this idea that I was going to hitchhike around the country and use that as an opportunity to kind of learn about different jobs and things. And my dad was really excited about that, and my mom was not super excited. So, there's moments where, some people were more excited about the ideas than others.
But deep down, what was your thoughts?
Yeah, and the way I always looked at it is like, life is about experience. At the end of all this, regardless of the money or whatever that we make, what you're going to gain is you're going to gain experience. And I think that when you go out on your own and you take risks and you decide to go after things, like you gain just really unique experience from that. And that's something that I would value regardless of the end result. And so because I kind of came at it with that perspective, I wasn't super stressed if it's like, okay, if this doesn't work out, or if I have to get a job, I mean, I would like to do all those things. I would like to try like lots of jobs I haven't had. And so I'd be fine with that. Every different experience is like unique and can add value and can be a good memory. So no, I was okay with things not working out. That's kind of how it ended up.
Thank you for sharing. What have you learned from business as a whole?
Well, I think I've learned a lot from business, but I'd say that it's hard to plan everything out in advance. You can set these. Some people, they're like, oh, what's your 10-year plan, your 5-year plan? And I'm like, things change so much in business. I don't even know like my 2-month plan, to be honest, like, cause things can just change so rapidly. Like, one day you can think that, oh, this is a need in my business. And then the next day that can completely change. And so, making long-term plans, like in long-term visions, well, that can be good. Like, I think in business, you really need to be able to adapt and change based on what's happening. So it's definitely kind of forced me to be more adaptable and willing to adjust to just based on results and based on my experiences.
What is the best way to build backlinks for a brand new website?
Yeah, so for a brand new website, I kind of had mentioned earlier that you could just kind of start looking for sites in your like niche that are listing other websites like yours, and that's a good way to get started. That's kind of maybe the foundation, and then if you want to do something beyond that, one approach that I might suggest is using a service like Haro. It's called Help a Reporter. You search for that, and it's just a website where reporters ask for guests or experts to chime in on topics that they might have interest in. So they might say, "Oh, I need someone that is an expert in women's health to give insight onto whatever the question might be." And so there's like different types of experts can chime in on topics that they're most knowledgeable about, because I think that's a very easy. The hard thing is just finding the right topics, but it's easy for anybody, whether they know about link building or not, to answer questions about topics that they're knowledgeable about. So I think in that sense, it's a very easy approach for anyone to start out with, is just by responding to queries that are relevant for your business.
What do you think about paying for backlinks?
Well, I think for the average person, I would say you shouldn't pay for backlinks. But paying for backlinks can work, and there's lots of people to do it and do it quite successfully. I would just say like the risk is the risk is because you may be paying for links on sites that, at best it's just not going to help you at all, and at worst, like it could damage your site. So you just have to know what types of sites you're getting, you're paying for backlinks from, and how, like, are they charging everyone for backlinks, and how are they linking, and what do their backlinks look like? So there's a lot like of research and understanding to help you understand what the risk is of buying a backlink on a site or not. And so if it's not something you're very knowledgeable about, or you don't know a lot about, then I would say it would generally be best to steer clear of buying backlinks. If it's something that like for me, since I know about link building, this is my business, I would be comfortable if I understand the risks. But for the average person, I would probably suggest to avoid it.
If you could rerun the first year of your business, what would you definitely not do?
If I could rerun the first year of my business, yeah, it's hard to know for sure, because in the beginning I kind of did everything on my own. The only main difference that I would, if I could do it again, I think that I guess what I would not do is I wouldn't hold on to people, because that's probably when I was first started hiring people, and I often held on trying to make things work with people that it wasn't working with, maybe longer than I should have. And so that's probably, if I could go back to do it, just have more perception now. And the way I look at it is generally, if you have doubts about someone in the beginning, like those doubts never go away. And so every time I try to give people the benefit of the doubt, and I keep hoping, let's see if it works, or let's see if they can change this, it never really works. So if you're trying to hire and someone's not like wowing you, I would generally say, just try to look for someone else, rather than just keep hoping and praying that it's going to work out.
How long did it take you to start hiring staff?
Yeah, it may have been in that first year. I don't know exactly, but I would say probably within the first year I was trying to hire staff. The thing with link building is it can be somewhat tedious. There's a lot of tasks that are repetitive in nature, and so there's a lot of aspects of it that I knew like, oh, it'd be nice to have someone else doing this. So I started trying to hire staff maybe within 6 to 9 months of me kind of doing services for clients. But yeah, I don't know how long it took me before I had my first successful hire. Maybe it took a little bit long, another 6 to 9 months before that happened. But
What is the most valuable thing you have ever given away?
the most valuable thing I have ever given away. Well, I guess the most valuable thing that we all have is our time. So I'd have to say, yeah, give my time away, and what I put my time into. That's it. That would be it.
What is one thing that has contributed to your success?
One thing that has contributed to my success, I would say, for me personally, it's kind of having standards and not compromising them. So I think in the beginning, that's what I was kind of struggling with when I was trying to hire is, okay, how can I kind of maintain these standards? But I think what has allowed the company to grow and maintain and actually kind of improve our services as we've grown is just having a real firm hold on standards and saying, okay, like this is how we're going to do it, and we're going to do things the right way, and we're not going to compromise that, and we're not going to like take shortcuts, and we're only going to take on work that we can execute well. And so I think maintaining that has definitely contributed to being able to grow a company that has continued to provide a great level of service.
What is one thing no one knows about you?
One thing that I really like to do is I like to, like from like a sports perspective, I like to get into sports that I'm not very good at, and I like to try to like figure them out until I get to a level of like somewhat being proficient. And so I did that with triathlons, and I didn't really know how to swim as an adult. And so that was the first challenge. But then once I kind of got the swimming down and I was able to do those things, I got to a level of decent proficiency, which then led me to get into a different sport. And now that is surfing, and surfing is very challenging. And so I feel like, I'm currently at that level of, just trying to figure out how to manage it all. And I'm not sure if I can get the level of proficiency there, but we'll see.
Wow. What grounds you?
Well, I would say, what grounds me would have to be, my family. I'm married, and I have 3 kids, and, just having them and them reminding me of kind of what's the most important. That helps to keep me grounded and focused on the important things in life.
In your business, do you have a mentor or a coach?
I don't actually. Yes, I do have a coach currently that I've been working with for the last few months, and he has been helpful, and it's been mostly on the operations side of things, like with HR and just making. I'm really, my push this year is I'm trying to make the business, be able to operate better without me, and so that's been my focus. And yeah, I do have a coach that I've been working with to try to get that accomplished.
What is the most valuable thing your coach has told you?
The most valuable thing they've told me. I mean, I don't know, like I can't think of anything specific that has stood out from them as just like a piece of advice. But I would say that, one thing they've kind of helped me do is, I think I had a lot of questions around HR and how to properly manage things and whatnot. But I think one thing that has been helpful in talking to coaches, a lot of things that needed to be defined in the business, I already had an idea of what those were going to be or were. And so it was really about just taking those things and just kind of writing them down and making them concrete rather than just allowing them to be these vague poorly defined things in my mind, kind of making them concrete and just communicating them to the team. So I would say that would be kind of the thing that has really, it's mostly just kind of pushing me to better define what is already kind of in my head.
Let's talk about your business. Tell us more about it.
Sure. So, we do, link building for online businesses. And, what this really is I like to say we're professional emailers, because, building backlinks, it's really about reaching out to other site owners and sharing with them a piece of content or something that would be valuable for them that they might be able to share or link to from their site. So, we send a lot of emails on our clients' behalf, and what really is what leads to success when doing that is it's really dependent on the strategy. You have to have a strategy and an angle that will work, and obviously content that someone might actually find value in and be able to link to. So that's really what makes it successful, because it kind of sounds easy, just send emails to a bunch of people and ask them to link back. But, what really makes it successful or not is the specific strategies or angles that we might use.
And where can we find your business, and how can we join?
Yeah, sure. So, my business website is located at linkpitch.io. And, I also have recently launched a podcast about link building called Let's Talk Link Building, which you can find wherever you look for podcasts. And so you can follow me there, or you can feel free to reach out on our website in the contact form or whatnot. Just reach out, and I'll be happy to get in touch and be able to take a look at your site and see if, it might be a fit for us to work together. And if not, I'm happy to provide suggestions on what might be a better path.
And how can we connect with you?
Yeah, so you can reach out to me by email. You can also connect with me on LinkedIn. I'd have to look up. I guess there's probably a few Aaron Andersons, but LinkedIn. Aaron Anderson 22 is my LinkedIn.com/in. Aaron Anderson 22. You can connect with me there, or just send me an email, and happy to connect with you that way.
Thank you. There will be more from Aaron in a moment. If you are listening to this on a podcasting platform and you're encouraged by Aaron's journey, please go to our website at onlinesuccessjourney.com. In addition to the amazing free content, you can work direct with me. Check out my course, Success: How to Set Goals and Double Your Productivity, a course for achieving success in work and life, when you visit onlinesuccessjourney.com. The site has a ton of audio clips from hundreds of successful entrepreneur guests' journeys, all there to help you find the path to your own online success journey. Check it out. That's onlinesuccessjourney.com. Now, Aaron, I would love for you to share more with my audience if you're up for
Sure.
it. Thank you. Do you watch movies or
Yes,
read
I do.
books?
I do a lot more watching videos now than I do reading.
Tell us, what is your favorite movie that has some relevance to being an entrepreneur?
I don't know. This one just popped up because it's like I just watched it pretty recently, but it's called The Pursuit of Happiness, where Will Smith, this is it's not like he becomes he's in a poor situation. He's trying to sell his medical devices, and then he tries to figure out how to become a stockbroker. So it's a pretty dramatic, events, and what he goes through is really intense, but just kind of persisting and not giving up and just, keep working at it until he succeeds is kind of the part that I really like about that movie.
If your business was down to its last $100, how would you invest it?
If I only had $100 to invest, I would. I'm not sure that the $100 would get me very far. So, for me, if I don't have any money, what you got to do is you got to figure out how to bring money in and go get clients.
You only have $100. At least you have a start.
Sure.
You have $100 already.
Yeah, I mean, the way I would think of it is, I mean, you can use the $100 if it's helpful, but you got to go get like paying clients, or you need to have some sort of service, or the easiest business to start if you have nothing is a service. So, if you can use that $100 to help you get clients, whether that's with ads or whatever, then good. But at that point, I would say your best bet is just putting in the time and effort to chase down and figure out how to get some paying clients in the door.
If you are going to keep a note to yourself in your pocket every day, what would be written on it?
I would say don't take life too seriously. I think in business, it's easy for me to kind of just get focused on like growth and just pushing forward. But it's good to remember that, to not to be too serious about everything, and to recognize what's the point of what you're working for, is to enjoy life. And so, yeah, that would be what I would have.
Do you feel like you succeeded, or like you're only on the way?
I definitely have succeeded in some things that I've set out to do, and but there's always more to accomplish. So there's plenty in my life that I have not accomplished and that I would like to do, and so I think life's a journey, and I'm not sure. I think I don't think I'll ever arrive to that point where, okay, I've achieved everything I want. I guess that would be when it's time to die, if there's nothing left to achieve. So,
will you ever stop?
I'll stop some things. Yeah, if there's nothing that you're kind of seeking or pushing forward or trying to achieve, whether that's in business or in life, then I think it makes it hard to kind of have much of a things to keep you going on a daily basis. So in that sense, no, I wouldn't stop. But will I stop certain endeavors or certain businesses or whatever? Yeah, that's a definite real possibility. But you always need something to keep pushing forward toward.
Remind us how we can connect with you.
Yeah, sure. You can connect with me, linkpitch.io. You can reach out to me, or you can join me on my podcast at Let's Talk Link Building.
Aaron, it's been great to have you here to share your online success journey with us.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure. Thanks for having me.
You are welcome. Remember, success is a journey. Don't wait. Let's start the journey. Patience and Aaron.
This is not the end of the journey. We hope you've enjoyed listening to Patience and her guest, and want you to know that there are hundreds of episodes available at onlinesuccessjourney.com. Patience would like to thank you for listening to the podcast, and she has a free gift for you on her website, including an audio compilation of her guests' best tips, uplifting stories, and even a bit of fun. Additionally, there are special clips of over 250 episodes that have never aired on the podcast and are only available to members of the Online Success Journey. Check the website and click on Join Now to get free and instant access. Of course, you know that listening to the journeys of others helps us each chart our own path. So make sure you're subscribed on the favorite platform you have to be notified as each new interview is posted. There are so many ways to stay connected to the Online Success Journey and listen in. And if you're enjoying the podcast, we appreciate your help in telling others. One of the best ways to share the benefit you get is to rate and review the podcast at Apple Podcasts and other sites. We appreciate your help and your willingness to share the journey. One last thing. If you're feeling a bit lost or overwhelmed on your own journey, Patience can help. Check out our coaching sessions on how to set goals and double your productivity while you're at the website. Working with Patience is a great way to get back on the right path. On behalf of Patience, and until next time, thanks once more for listening. It is our hope that this podcast will guide you on your own online success journey.